Joining us now is the Heritage Foundation chief economist, EJ Antoni. EJ, it's always great to have you. Friday, he comes back hard at China with higher tariffs. Over the weekend, he's trying to calm everybody's fears. Generally, when he says, don't worry, I believe him. Do you in this situation? I see two very strong leaders, as he suggests, who are both jockeying to put their toughest position up when these negotiations begin because they know it's going to be a difficult fight.
Oh, exactly, Jackie. You're talking about essentially the two economic superpowers of the world, right? Having a kind of modern-day Cold War, if you will. But I think the thing we got to remember with China, and it's different from when we negotiate with the EU or with England or countries in South America, et cetera, is the fact that China is very much a different beast. They don't abide by any agreements. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Look at the trade deals that they signed with previous presidents, including President Trump in the first term. They have abided by not a single one of those trade deals. They always end up stabbing their so-called partners in the back. And so I think that's why the president has to constantly be dealing with them essentially with a kind of sledgehammer, be that rhetorical or literal.
And I noted last week, China only accounts for, it's now, I think, less than 12% of all of our trade. And that amount has been cut in half since President Trump's first term in office in 2018. So China is still a threat because of the critical materials and minerals that it controls. However, not as much of a threat. And we do have anvils that we can slam our other trading partners with. Say, Brazil, why are you why are you taking food out of the mouths of our farmers by selling soybeans to China? Like, put the hammer down on them.
Well, and what we see with nations like Brazil that you mentioned, or Dagan, you can look at Canada, you can look at Mexico, all these different nations, the United States almost universally has more leverage than they do. In other words, if we do get into some kind of drawn-out trade war, yes, nobody wins in a trade war. Everybody loses, right? But they lose more than we do. And President Trump realizes that he has that kind of leverage in these negotiations, which is how he's able to one after another keep hammering out trade deals. Yes, I know it takes some time. Yes, I know it roils markets for a while. But so far, the strategy has been working. It has shown some pretty significant results. And the more you get all those other countries, all those ducks in a row, the more you isolate China, and that ultimately, I think, is what forces them to the table.
EJ, I want to get to this. In the Wall Street Journal, JP Morgan to invest $10 billion in U.S. companies that have a critical interest in national security. We were talking about the Alaska deal with respect to mining and minerals and the government's stake of roughly $35 million. Dagan and I are not huge fans of the government stake aspect. We say, roll back the regulations, let private enterprise do this. We understand national security interests. This is more of what Wall Street would be looking for private companies, not the government, to be helping to bolster our security interests.
Yeah, Jackie, I think you make a really great point. There are very limited cases where a public-private partnership is going to be fruitful. More often than not, what you need is simply to roll back the taxes and the regulations that are preventing those industries from thriving in the first place. Now, fortunately, I think you're getting the carrot and stick approach from this administration. I think you are getting both and, so that's a good thing. We're also now seeing, though, private actors. Look at Jamie Dimon today with J.P. Morgan. It's reminiscent of the 1907 panic, where you had Pierpont Morgan stepping in and doing something that was not only very profitable for his own firm, but frankly was patriotic. We are now seeing private actors wanting to reshore all of this industry, this critical industry and critical supply chains to the United States.
Couldn't he do more than $10 billion? JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, come on. You can put more money than that in there. And all the ATM fees and credit card interest that they screw their customers over, they can put more money than that in America, can't they? I say that as somebody who got hung up on 3 times.
Are you asking me or you're asking me?
I got hung up on 3 times on the phone intentionally by Chase reps. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be closing my accounts. Thank you very much. I'm just saying that there's always a reason why they're doing it, and I don't know if it's in the best interest of the United States of America. J.P. Morgan, at least.
I think this might be one of those occasions where the interests are aligned.
Okay.
So that's what it seems like, at least.
Aren't you the diplomat? I love it.
It's profitable and patriotic. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, at least if the government's not taking a stake in the venture, I'm fine with that. Thank you so much, EJ. It's terrific to see you.